Alright, so Groovy hit me up and I thought I'd give Scrums a go because that's actually part of my development and work on this year with NZRU is that I want to get better at Scrum. So this is something that I've already been working on before doing this. So it's good for me to do this, and hopefully I can share some of the NZRU stuff if it's not on this slide, but on this PowerPoint. But yeah, let's just work our way through it. So, objectives. Domestic safety law. Who can tell me the variations before I put them up on the TV? What's a domestic safety law variation?
Can only push a metre.
Metre?
1.5.
1.5.
45 degrees.
45 degrees? Is that it?
Can't trip the ball at the back. Number 8.
As soon as it's there, it's got to get out. I think that is pretty much it. Okay, so understand what we can and can't control. Pre-match briefing, what do we say, and how we control the setup on the field. So, applicable to all levels of rugby under 19 and below, not more than a metre half, free kick. Ball must be released from the scrum, as Mark said, can't trap it at the back, and scrum cannot wheel unintentionally more than 45 degrees, and it's just a reset. If it's unintentional. If it's intentional, then work your way through that. If one scrum is reduced to less than 8 players, the other team has to then match it and take a player off it. They don't bring someone in from the backs from the offending team. So the non-offending team drops someone off. Okay. Right, in your groups of 3 or 4, what's the purpose of a scrum?
Yeah,
write it down. Heard a few good words so far.
Yeah.
Got another 20 seconds or so.
Senior 3.
10 seconds. Right. Jazzy, what have you got down?
We got 3. We restart a play,
Yep.
tactical, and rest. That was not me.
Who gets the rest?
Scotty.
Cool. What have you guys got? Same stuff or nothing?
Yeah. Oh, you know.
We just want rest. You should have just done the last time with it. Anyone?
Supposedly a fair contest.
Fair contest? Yep. Anything different to add?
No.
No? I heard safe out there somewhere.
Yeah, I said restart play safely and fairly.
Cool. So, to restart play, providing a contest in a safe manner. So that pretty much says that. What are the teams trying to achieve at scrum time? I want you to go attacking, defending. Just give me a couple of things for each team.
Dominance.
What was that?
Think about our level of riffing, not Super Rugby, Mitre 10. Think about what we're doing. So hopefully they're not scrumming for penalties.
Who will be?
No, don't do that.
I mean, off the penalty, exactly. Like advantage to lock up the forwards. It's a great attacking team. The question is to what an attacking team is trying to achieve by getting a scrum? Or I mean, what are they trying to do at scrum time? Scrum with the ball. Yeah. Win the scrum stably so they can log back.
Just so they won't be
You've always needed help, eh?
That 10 more seconds, guys.
on the red.
Come out. Disrupt.
Right, starting here. Anton, what do you got? This is the teacher and me coming out. I know you're the big first now.
The one that said, no, I've got nothing, no. The dominance for the attacking team kind of thing, and to win the ball. And that sort of Scrums force to win the ball.
Sweet. Anything for defence?
Well, they want to win the ball too.
Yeah.
Disrupt play.
Disrupt the
Disrupt play.
defence?
Yeah. The defence to disrupt play.
The attacking.
Of the offence.
Yeah, okay.
Attacking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Jazzy?
Yeah, much the same when we turn over pressure. We did say defensive team may try and, or attacking team may try and milk a penalty or something like that. So
create a tactical advantage. Or a scrum as opposed to penalty, you might choose a scrum.
Okay. Yeah.
That'd be tactical.
Right, so what do we got? Own ball, secure possession from a stable platform. So you will quite often see that if you can generally get a good feel from the first 2 or 3 scrums who's dominant. And you'll know because on their ball, it's pretty much square and stable, ball comes in and out and doesn't move. When
I'm not
it's
sure where they are,
on,
Anthony, but somewhere around. Yeah.
when it's on the opposition's ball, you'll quite often know it's turning or they're going backwards, and you get a pretty good indication of who's dominant. So on their own ball, they'll want stable platform. Opposition ball, disrupt, quality ball of the opposition. Okay. Exercise. Done. Okay, what are the things that we can control and can't control? So let's put can, can't, what can we do as refs at scrum time?
What was that? Calls.
Okay, yeah. Well, make the call. You say that the players really
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're right, gotcha. Okay.
We can't. We can't
Can't control.
We control the setup.
We can do, well, once the scrum's got to go for it.
We can control,
You can control
like, body position so that we can stop.
So you can control the setup.
You can, yeah, the setup in the pre-scrum you can set up, but you can, but after that, once it's going, you can't do anything until like the next scrum, I'm going to say.
So you have control your calls, control the setup.
Can't control, what's it? Or should I just say while it's going? Is that it?
As long as you know what I mean.
Pre-scrum and
Control that to a certain degree.
I mean, you can't control because what it's supposed to control. It's a safe thing. Yeah, you can't control the outcome and yes, you can.
Yeah, because if it's a turnover, then we can't really control it.
Alright, a couple more seconds.
Well, you can't control one. Oh, that's the outcome. Oh, mate, yeah, right. And it doesn't help when I'm bloody piping it up as well.
So then just relax, bro, you're all good. Right, can and can't. Can, pre-match briefing. Did anyone have that down? Got it?
1-0.
Nice. Right, I would expect that, or it is actually a requirement that we have our pre-chat to our front row, and that is a safety thing. We should be doing that every game, no matter what level we're at. I think we're doing that, aren't we? Yeah. Providing clear instructions on that. We want to make sure that those instructions are what we are using in the game. So if it's something we say in the pre-match, And if there's an issue with it, we're using the same words and the same vocab on the field, okay? Keep it nice and simple. Making the mark, timing of your calls, whether you allow the scrum to continue and call set or not. Okay, things we can't control, the attitudes of the players, player skill level, player technique, tactics, and what they do post-set. Okay? What do you think I'm going to ask?
Mate.
The whole group.
What do you say?
What do you say?
What do you tell them?
In your pre-match chat. Write it down. Come up with a bit of a group
Stu's
consensus.
got a good one.
No movement.
Because that's the thing with a lot of the, especially the logo custom, they're just chucking kids in just to fill the spot.
Are we going to call?
Yeah, yeah.
We're not going to call how we get that. What we're going to look for between the calls.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're not going to call settings. Yep, good. Oh, that was definitely out. Nope. So the obvious will be a
I need to go back to school.
position.
You just go through.
Okay, let's focus here.
See how that works. It's Scrum level. So you find that works. How long get premiums in that.
Stability, it covers all that. The only reason why I don't go to my pre-match and say, oh, I want stability and I want this is because I'll forget it. My head is a simple man. So I keep it very simple.
Yeah, it was really good. Clear.
Go about 10 more seconds, guys. And
There are 4 things I want to
chat.
About much as
Yeah,
you
We need to have a bit more coaching.
Where are you going?
I just pull that one. I know what I want to say, but it all comes out different.
It's just easier.
Yeah, oh, you won't read it very fast.
Yeah, no movement throughout calling process.
You don't have to say it like that, you just say no movement.
I'm poaching, man.
As long as you understand what it means, that's all.
Yeah, because like, I mean, like when you say what it's going to think, yeah, we get them out, that makes sense.
Right. Is anyone happy to get up and share their front row chat? Pretend like you're literally giving your front row chat. What would you say?
Well done, Stu.
Just chuck right up.
You've got in our car, eh?
Oh, no,
You're
you
stealing it, eh? No, I just, I have 4 things to keep it real simple and not complicated. So I just go, there are 4 things I want at Scrum. So first thing, overriding rule is no movement on any of my calls. Second thing, on crouch, we find our space, so there's no head on head. On bind, the binds are nice and long, and on the back, on set, we push straight. So we're nice and still, find our space, nice long binds, and push straight. Any questions? No? Alright.
It's different to mine, but I think everyone probably does have something slightly differently as long as we are covering
Go,
those
what's yours?
main points. What's mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's hooker? Ben, you're hooker. Okay. Here's the mark. I need you on the left of the mark every scrum. Okay. So here's the mark. I need you on the left of it, so we don't have that head on head. Okay. After that, I'll call crouch, and I won't call bind, and I won't call set until both sides are nice and stable. Clear? Cool. Just on the bind, make it nice and long on the back, not on the shoulder or the arm. Otherwise, I won't be going forward. And the last thing for me basically is make sure we're all pushing straight in the same direction. If you think you're getting dominance, make sure you go forward before you turn it. Any questions?
Cool.
That's it for me. So probably the only difference really is that I talk about the mark blocker on the left, so we get that space head on.
I guess I cover that when I say find your space.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I guess it really doesn't matter as long as you find your space.
Yeah. That's why I said we're all sort of say something differently, but we all get the same point across.
Go, Carl.
Mine's pretty much
Yep.
the same.
Yep.
Mine's pretty much exactly the same as Rito's, except
Let's mention
I
that.
always go left of the mark. Basically, I won't move on to the next step until the first step's completed. So, and yeah, no movement, etc., etc. So,
Alan.
Alright, we don't need to go through everything.
Keep it short.
Alrighty, mark. I'll make it, and then we expect hookers to be on the left of that. Space on the crouch and bind with no pre-engage. Oh, didn't talk about that, did we? No pre-engagement. So what I quite often say, which might not be relevant to all levels, but for Premier, I say I don't mind head on shoulder, but there will be no shoulder-on-shoulder contact on the bind call. So quite often props will put the head on the shoulder, and then they'll duck it in on the set call. It seems to work for me. I don't know what other refs do, but
I allow that, Rito, but I guess sometimes you wonder whether they're actually getting an unfair advantage. Because you actually look at the pressure that they're
Yep.
actually able to apply to their oppositions.
Yep.
You know, like you can see the head almost shaking, and then in they go.
So for me, as long as both sides are exerting the same amount of pressure, I don't mind it. If one side is clearly on the back foot and one's on the toes, then no, I won't. I'll be resetting that. I'm not saying I'm right at all, because potentially I am letting them both have too much force go through. It might be better. I might actually try in the first few games to say, right, no head on shoulders, no shoulder on shoulder, and actually get them to be sitting back a bit more and holding their own weight to see how the scrums go. Gone?
Yeah, they're one.
Stability. Right through the call base, but especially on the bind and post set. So there will be movement, and that's why I don't ever say this will be my cadence, crouch, bind, set, because it purely depends on the players and when they are stable. Okay, and I tell that to them. My call will be dependent on when both of you are still and stable. Push straight after the feed. Feed to hook. Communicate with the nines that there must be a hook, otherwise it is a what to the opposition team? Free kick. Yep.
Who hooks the ball?
Anyone on the front row.
Anyone once it's past the first 2 feet, correct?
Once it is.
In the
They
channel.
can raise the ball, leaves 2 hands and halfback and strike when the ball's
Yeah, it has to have hit the ground, it has to have left the nine's hands, and it has to be past the, is it the
First
first
foot.
foot?
First foot.
Yeah.
Into the tunnel, yeah.
Yeah.
Theoretically, the outside foot
Of
the loose head or
loose
tight head prop can't
Yeah.
strike through the ball because it wouldn't have been in the channel.
Sorry, I like to clear these things up.
Have you ever seen a referee rule that? No?
Well, I have never seen a referee rule it, but I've complained as a hooker that that guy can't strike for the fucking ball. Pardon my French.
Okay. What things should or might we say at the first scrum? Very quickly, don't need to write this one down, just fire something at me, someone. So we're just coming to the first scrum, what are we going to be saying?
Knock on scrum green.
Okay, after that, the front rowers are there, what are we going to potentially say to them?
Standards.
Remember what we talked about.
Yeah.
Hold against it.
Just remember what we talked about and maybe just say stability, space,
Stability now,
straight.
I reckon.
Yeah, just really short and sweet, just recap those 2 or 3 main things. Quite often if it is a good one, that next scrum will say, awesome, good work, let's keep it like that for the rest of the day, especially if there's been some crap ones before it. Now, that last one was good, boys, let's keep it that way. Just reinforce that positive behaviour. On field, make a mark, reinforce one or two key messages, do the same when reserves come on, height, distance, stability, lights. If it's not right, stand them up. One chance to get the first one right. So we do want to make sure that we get that first scrum right, whether it takes 2, 3 resets. Make sure we're not guessing for that penalty on the first scrums. We need to make sure we're getting the offence, and we want to get it right, especially at the first 5-10 minutes of the game. It's not, okay, that was a slip, then there was a wrong bind, let's reset it, let's get it right before we start going into the free kick penalties. Otherwise it's going to be a long day. Right, summary, know the relevant law, know what you can control. Okay. There is another PowerPoint we need to go through too. Okay, so I'll bring up the next PowerPoint. Okay, some of the things in this one do, I think, cross over, so it should be a little bit quicker, hopefully. Right. Fourth one is key. Understand the pictures that we need to see. And understand your go-to decisions. Okay, so yeah, we've sort of talked about this already. Okay, there's technical stuff. So loose head binding, left arm inside the right arm of the tight head. Half back, they can stand shoulder to the middle of the scrum, but slightly to their side if they want. Hooker must strike. Okay. A lot of stuff we just covered already. Actually, that is quite good. What are the key things we should be aware of as we set a scrum? Before hopefully I didn't put up all the answers. Write down 3 things. What are things we should be aware of when we're setting a scrum?
Saw that one. Yeah,
I was like, oh, go back. I think one we got up
Yeah, it's something to be aware of, whether it be an overriding rule,
Let's assume you're in the second half, you know what the scrums are like. What do you need to be aware of as you're about to set a scrum?
Like, you know one thing like that, and strong, and you know who's what they trying to what things trying to achieve
About 10 more seconds, guys. Alright, first one. Whose feet it is? Hopefully you get that one right. Place on the field. Why does place on the field matter? Someone. Eh?
And then the team gets an unfair advantage.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Well, if you knock it on and then you give it to the team back 20 metres up the field, but
Oh, okay, got
is
you.
that what you mean, or was it like?
Would it be
No,
like
let's
when
say you've
it's
set the
close
mark
to
for the
five?
scrum.
Yeah.
What would or potentially you be looking for differently if it's 5 metres out from the line or whether it's in the middle of the field?
Is it in 22?
Defence cheating,
Yeah.
like intentionally
Yeah.
taking a scrum down.
There are certain things you should be aware of where the scrum is on the field, whether it's in the attacking 5 metres, whether it's halfway, whether it's defending 5 metres, whether it's within 10-15 metres of sideline. There are different things you need to be aware of in those key parts of the field. So what do you think a dominant defending team would do to an attacking team that is 10 metres from the sideline. Which way? Yeah. Some of those things that I know I've been quite guilty of not being aware of, and at times penalising the wrong side. You need to be aware of where you are on the field and what the teams are trying to probably achieve at those points. Trends, dominance, eyes and ears open, yeah. Quite often you will hear the players say what they're going to try and do. Right, when you call crouch, what are you looking at? So what do you need to see before you call bind? Stability. What else is another key thing?
Square. And shoulders out and square. And straight backs.
Square, so like as in a bumps to try line?
Yes.
Okay, so we've got stability, bumps to try line. What else?
And then the
Above the hips.
gaps.
Shoulders above hips.
Yeah, height, yeah.
Should be one more thing at least we're looking for here.
The gap.
No, before the bind.
Oh, the gap.
The gap is in space or the gap is in where the heads are?
Both.
Yeah. So, big one, make sure they're not head on head, giving it that one. They need to have their head in their own space. They should not be doing that head on head. Quite often you'll see the loose head might just try and pull himself out a little bit from the hooker to try and make sure the loose head is hitting straight. Because quite often if that the tight head has a tight to his hooker, the loose head can angle in a bit on him. But I have noticed sometimes the the tight head will go slightly wider on his bind, which then the loose head will be head on head with him. And I'll tell the tight head to get his bind a bit tighter on his hooker. Distance gap, no pre-engagement, height, stability, balanced. Both packs controlling their weight. So those things are the things we need to be talking about pre-game that we're using on the field. So if there's no stability, we're saying stability. If the bind is wrong, we're saying you're binding on his arm, you're binding on his shoulder. If the head is on head, look, you're not in your space. And quite often that might be because the hooker's not left of the mark. That is the biggest focus from Super Rugby down, stability. If there is movement between our calls, there's a high chance that scrum is going to be unsuccessful and it won't be ball in, ball out. Make sure we are consciously looking for that stability before we have our next call. On the bind, what are we looking for before we go to set? Binding's correct. Where?
Well, long bind either on the side or on the back.
Side or back? Yep, correct. Who's on top, who's underneath? In terms of arms, who's on top and who's underneath? Not at home. On the bind, whose bind goes on top?
They can't work it out, they should be in the front row.
Tight heads on top?
Yeah.
Correct. I had in the academy Hindu game, I'm sure it was one of the academy Lucy, kept trying to put his bind on top. I'm like, mate, you've got to go underneath, tight heads on top.
It looks weird. When
It
they do
does,
wrong.
yeah.
It's all weird.
Okay, same thing, distance gap, but that shouldn't really change from when you were just at the crouch. Tight head, angle. Okay, set up straight in own space. Okay, we do need to make sure he is square. He is probably the key person to look at if that side of the scrum is collapsing in on itself. Okay, if that's happening, focus on the tight head. If it is still happening, it's going to be the loose head. Okay, if he is square and it still's going in like that, it's because that loose head's come out. But you can't penalise the loose head if the tight head has already gone in, because he's got nowhere to go if that tight head's gone in. Yep, height, head above hips, bind, off the loose head's arm, angle, same stuff.
What were you looking at for angle? Shoulders, feet, head, what?
Angle, I'm talking about pushing straight, square.
Pre-engagement angle?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so what part of them would you look at for a pre-engagement angle? Just, I'm interested.
Back.
Lower back and backside.
Yeah.
Do you guys look at feet?
Yes. I would.
They're a bit hard to see
For
at that stage.
loose head, yes. Not so much for tight head.
The dead giveaway for us, we can manipulate what we want, just giving you an idea. We can manipulate what we want at scrum time by keeping our shoulders, or the top part of our body, as square as you want to see it.
Yeah.
And we can change our feet so that on engagement, essentially, we're angling where we want to go.
Because when you push, it just drives it in, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Outside foot.
So Bama can bring 1 foot back
Yeah.
to where he wants it to be.
But keep his back straight.
But keep his back
and
dead
then
straight.
on the set call, it's banging.
Correct, and then he's banging on an angle.
Yeah. That's good.
It just pressure pushes around. So as soon as you get 1 foot in forward, and it's usually the outside foot, and the other one back, as soon as the pressure comes on, it goes that way.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one for you. I know it's a hard place to look because you've got a hell of a lot of actions going along, but when we're trying to really simplify, we'll
It's
just
easy
look
to
at
see
feet
for those first on your side. Probably hard to see the
on the other
so
side,
on the other
particularly from the
side.
sideline from your AR is going to be
But I
really
mean,
struggling.
as refs, we need to make sure we're on the side wherever that issue is. If there is issues, we need to be on that side.
How far are they moving their feet? Is it like a foot or half a foot?
Well, it depends, hey? Like sometimes we won't drop our foot back anywhere near as far as we want to. Like if my shoulders are parallel square and essentially outside foot up, right? Basic sense, outside foot up, I won't drop my foot back anywhere near as far as I need to be parallel. Does that make sense? So, yeah, on that bind, because we put a bit of pressure on the bind, we won't go from there back to feet square. We'll keep 1 foot up and we'll just engage through there.
It's good to know this stuff.
So it would help.
No, it does.
Not many of you guys will do that. Most of them will just loose head angle and tight head collapse under pressure. Then you just got to decide who's the worst.
It generally is easy to see because the loose head's ass is just poking out.
Yeah. Saying that, Hughie, another question for you. How do you determine whether the loose head's just a good scrummager and the tight head is just not a good scrummager?
As long as that, so the first picture for me is tight head straight, a feet straight, and loose head straight. It's who's going backwards, who's going forwards. It has to go back first before it starts turning.
If I'm a tight head and I'm under pressure, I'm going to turn in, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn in. Yes?
Yeah.
Yep, so if I'm under pressure, I'm going to turn in. So is it me under pressure from the loose head, or is it the loose head creating the wrong pressure and turning me?
I don't think it'll be the wrong pressure unless his ass is out.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really hard one.
It is.
Is he turning in under pressure? What about hooker standing up? Are we driving the hooker up, or is the hooker standing up under pressure because you don't want to be there anymore?
That is a hard one. Generally, they will pop up when they're going backwards, not before they've already gone backwards.
Sure.
But that generally happens, I think, if he's been driven up and if there's been no movement. If they're going backwards, then he pops up, he's bailed out for me.
But yeah, you've got to be careful, don't you? I think if you're an easy out, then reset and do it quickly.
And that is a key point. We don't want to be guessing.
Not penalised.
Penalties.
It's a really hard one, eh?
It is.
For us, because coaches, we want to see really dominant scrummagers be rewarded and guys be rewarded for scrummaging, and yet there is a huge element of safety involved with all of this, because at your guys' level, there are guys who really can swim, girls who really can scrum, and those who can't, and we'll look after both. It's an interesting one. I always like that one there, that's why I came back in, because who's to blame? Sorry.
Yep. No, you're right. You're good. I'm learning.
So am
I. Key focus balanced with no pre-engagement. Right, set. So, before we get to that set call, we'll sort of talk about it on the bind, I guess. What are we looking at on the set call? Before the ball comes in, we've called set. Stability.
Yeah, movement.
Lack of movement.
Steady.
So, there
Feet
was
out
a
of the
scrum in the weekend. I went and watched Stu Carr and Teeps ref, and okay, so the scrum was like this. Set, got to about there, and then stabilised. Play on, ball in, or reset?
Reset. Depends where it was on the field.
It was on about the 10 metre line, of the the attacking team was in their half on the 10-metre line, about 5 metres from the sideline, so they got twisted towards their back line to the open side.
And there was no, but he got stability at that point?
Yes.
I would play it on.
Play on, I mean, there's
It
no...
was
if
about
it
a
would've been
45 every turn.
If they'd been...
That's quite a
if
lot.
they'd
Oh, hold
been-
on, sorry. No, about a 30.
I mean, if you got to, if it had promoted it maybe to the sideline, then that's an unfair advantage, but just probably completely different story if it was 5 metres out from the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But, I mean, if you're getting stability and the ball's in, ball out, just play on.
Mm.
Breaking me.
Oh yeah, I'd always go. Well, I like to think I'd always go reset if it's not straight. Because what difference does it make if they're facing that way or that way? They're automatically under pressure. All the team has to do is turn a bit more and.
Let's think if the attacking team.
What does the crowd want to see you do? What do the spectators want to see ball in, ball out, eh?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
a difficult one.
So the scrum was about here. Okay, and it was on about an angle like
That's
that.
quite good.
Okay,
Who's feeding the ball?
attacking team.
Yeah.
So this the defending half, but it was this team's ball.
Reset it.
What do they gain from it?
Fuck all.
If they deliberately turn that, what do they gain from it?
Flank can't get over.
This flank?
It can't
He
get
has
over.
taken them out of the game, really, or they have.
Yeah.
Especially if they're attacking that first 5 channel.
No good for me to pass from that space though.
Hey?
There's a scrum gone this way, correct? So that's my 8 and 9.
No, other way.
So who's this going this way?
Yeah.
Oh, Matthew.
I guess, yeah, you made an extra point with the defensive
Yeah.
tactics of taking a player out of the game.
Oh, you'd be killing me. You might as well have a 7 holding my loose forward.
Yeah, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly right. So
Like Blake Gibson on the weekend, and you penalise that, correct?
That was a great penalty.
That's a good point.
Right? So it's exactly the same thing, and we've now obstructed our 7 from defending.
Good point.
This is where we need to be aware of who was actually dominant in these scrums.
Yeah.
So if that attacking side was dominant, you'd probably reset it. Well, you'd like to think you'd reset it. If the defending side was dominant, they had a really dominant loose head, I'd say, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Play on. That's dumb. But then you're guessing a little bit, I guess. You might just want to reset it, be safe.
But what causes it to do that? Like,
A loose head who is very dominant, potentially, someone like Cracker.
Cracker being overextended.
Is this pre-engaged?
No, this
this is
is
before the ball, so it's set. So when they go set, they go
set and they go
it
boom.
turns. Yeah.
Right. It could be the lock. It could be the lock on the tidy head side of the team with the ball stuffs their footing up.
It'll be Cracker being overextended and punching the scrum forward on his side.
So is it
Was
That's
this
what it
early in the
is it
game?
clear and obvious to?
No, it was near the halfway mark.
So was it Havelock that got wheeled?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was Cracker on the loose head.
They're the other missing details.
Cracker would have been well over before the scrum went in, and he would have chased his
I've got the
feet up
video
to
on
get
my
strong
phone
and
if
would
anyone
have
wants to have a look at it.
And it was my first scrum. So.
And guess what Cracker did straight away was he took advantage of
Yeah.
it. That's what he did.
What did you do, Cara?
I let
What-
it. I let it play. The ball came out, so I just let them.
And we got a game of rugby?
And 99% of the people there said hooray.
Yeah.
Bar the coach.
Once I saw the video, I was like,
And they
oh,
have locked
I
right
should
ears.
have.
Havelock will get
Crackers boring into me.
Their scrum. Yeah,
But that's what I mean. That was dumb from Cracker to do that.
Yeah.
So
It's good.
Nah, you did good, man.
What are you guys now this year? We're all part of game. Referees are now no longer officials. What are we? You know, we're all part of game.
Oh, be in the game or
Be in
something?
the game. Is that the new phrase?
Yeah.
So you were in the game.
Yeah.
That's the directive.
Oh,
God.
sense, doesn't it?
You've got tick on Saturday, so
I do.
yeah.
Oh, you be getting a hell of a scrum with them too.
have a
Who have
look.
they
See
got?
what you think.
Public name insurance.
This is
I
all
should
in,
have
man.
recorded more because it would have shown what happened from that. Because I think they did get a good game line break.
They did.
So as
They did
per
come in
previous
close to
season,
a like
Yeah,
midfield.
on that 10 channel.
They took advantage
Yeah.
of that blanket being taken off.
Yeah, it's not Havelock taking advantage, it's Tech being useless.
That's what I mean. But it had, as soon as that set call was made, it's gone and then it's stabilised, hasn't it?
Yeah.
He's just walked around.
But it's
Craiger's
to his-
just Craiger has got nowhere because the guy's dived in, so
It was-
Craiger's
it
walked
was
around
to
on it
Tech's
to try and get it.
disadvantage,
Absolutely.
wasn't
Yeah, they play on.
Yeah.
He's a moron. He just wants to scrum and hurt the guy. He didn't want to help his team. So it's his problem.
Well done, Cara.
All without knowing it?
You don't want to know too much.
Oh, okay. Give me 4 free kick penalisable offences at scrum.
Free kick.
Free kick or penalisable. Actually, just give me as many as you can.
Don't say crooked feet.
Yep, he's onto it.
I haven't seen many of those for a while.
No, there hasn't been those because everyone's feeding it straight.
Oh,
Straight.
I did one in the sevens. I penalised them not straight. Because Havelock, that Lucy had put his feet like that. And then
It would have been 3.5 feet going, give it that one through there.
no, oh yeah. Was that guy who came from No, he's new, he's got a solid physique, well built bugger. He was obviously a Lucy playing prop.
Udi Johns or one of those.
He looked older than that. He had his feet back in front.
Close enough. Here they are here. Not this one?
No.
This one?
No.
This one?
Yeah, like,
No.
pop up and say,
No. No. Not guilty, boys. You're all good.
No, crooked feet.
Well, it all comes out of collapsing. So it's got to be on the ground, then it goes down.
Lucy had his feet the wrong way. He put his feet
No ball.
into the half.
So if you find he went to the line, yeah, slips with his line, gets back on, obviously it's, would you,
So it goes down on the side.
no, it's fine as in it's not a penalty, would you stop and reset?
So if you were finding it slipped hit the ground and then he got back up and nothing happened.
You don't?
So if we hit the ground and then we
First round.
oh,
You don't go beat, yeah.
yeah, you spoke to me.
5 seconds.
That's right, he can see it. And I'll decide to walk it up.
Righty, give me one, please. John.
Pre-engage.
Pre-engage. Okay. Who finds that one hard to judge who's done that? I know I do. It's really hard to tell who has pre-engaged. I had that in the Academy Hindu game. Probably had about 10 of them. I wanted to free kick and penalise, but I literally couldn't tell who was the instigator of it. With pre-engaged, do you reckon you're better to have a bigger gap or a smaller gap as in terms of the distance between the two hookers?
Smaller.
Smaller? Why?
Because on the game on Saturday I had, they were going big.
Yep.
But every time they go to one team was a bit more dominant, so every time they were trying to get that big hit on.
Yep.
Kind of thing, and then so made it a bit smaller, and so when they go to buy set engage, it was just in. Kind of thing.
So I had to think about this after the game. I thought, how could I try to solve this? And I actually reckon that a smaller gap, I agree, between the hookers is better because they have to be sitting back more. If there's a bigger gap, they're going to be leaning forward more, they're going to be transferring more weight, not being able to hold their own weight. So I think if we do have that issue, have a look at the gap, see if they're too far apart. Would you agree with that?
Coming in.
Pre-engage. If you're having an issue with both sides always pre-engaging, can't tell who's doing it, shorten up the gap so they're holding more of their weight, not leaning into it so much.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool.
Much easier way to do it than saying let's get more gap.
Yeah. Well, I just feel if the gap's bigger, they're going to be leaning more, aren't they?
Yeah, and again, if your feet don't lie, and Scrum is the opposite. Your feet don't lie, your feet are way back. You can find that space. Most of these guys who cannot scrum can't control their feet because they can't control their core. Their feet will be their dead giveaway. Every time. That's why I'm always watching feet. It's boring.
Well, those scrums where it's literally a rock. their feet they're anchored. They
Can't
don't move.
move.
Their
Oh,
claws
yeah.
tight, their legs, and they just
We have some great scrums, great life scrums. We just sit there for 6, 8, 9 seconds, and then someone moves and they get bulldozed, and your Bama's going backwards and falling on his face and going, "Yes, boys!" It's good. You move the feet.
That was when teams weren't hooking, because they knew as soon as they lifted their foot up,
exactly.
they were getting pumped. But now they have to, otherwise they get free kicked.
Correct.
Tight head collapsing. Loose head collapsing. Prop angle. Illegal wheeling.
What's illegal wheeling?
What's illegal wheeling?
Pulling back on pushing ball.
How can you tell that?
I can tell.
Lots
I wouldn't say that's wheeling.
Position on the field. Position on the field, mate. You know, attacking scrum 5
Wheeling
metres out.
is what I believe is one side literally just
I don't
walking
think the
the
attacking
scrum
team want to
around.
do that.
Okay, I'm dominant on one side and pushing straight, and he's going in. The first penalty before the wheel would be,
Not pushing straight.
I'm pushing straight. He dives in under pressure. The scrum therefore goes round.
Angle from the other guy.
Yeah, we angle from the other guy first, correct?
Angle from tight head. Yeah.
But that's the one that never seems to get to that. We always get wheeled, right? So I get dominant here. He goes in. I come round. Everything behind me comes round. And is it me wheeling or is it him?
Yeah, I see what you mean. You're getting the second reaction or offence, not the first offence.
Yeah, but it's always wheel that gets penalised because it's really easy to see, right?
Yeah.
But you're right. And if you shouldn't be able to pull back on one side. If you're pulling back on one side, you're like,
Shouldn't be
it's
so
like club scrum. Yeah.
Yep, so there's tight head binding on the arm collapsing, loose head, head and shoulders too low collapsing, tight head, loose head angle, not pushing straight. We do have some clips to watch now.
Tremendous. Is this us?
It is. 3 of them are Hawke's Bay. Right, good stutter, good stutter.
Oh, these head collapse. That bottom one, I know exactly that one, yeah.
There we go.
Cracker. Look at his feet.
No, this is a good scrum of playing. This is a good one.
First quarter of the game gone.
Call's a bit out off the video. Great scrum.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Go back to that one.
She cracked the can, didn't it?
You see Cracker's foot there? Just really, really carefully. Oh, go back.
This
Go
one?
back a real. You can't go back at all now.
No.
Cracker gets really over. If you see how he's really over. So we worked with him for months trying to get him to feel stable with his feet underneath him. But he has that, you'll notice the foot, and please don't penalise him all.
On Saturday?
Because they'll hate it, but he gets his outside foot right outside the centre line of the scrum. So I get this foot way out here because he wants to feel balanced and feel under control because he's not a natural prop, he's a loose forward. And then when he gets his chest over, he almost sinks his feet further back, so he's right over the cliff. He's really strong to hold himself here, but he's way over the cliff. So anyone who's any good, any tighter who's any good, will actually give him the space to go down into that space, which you'll probably see in that bottom one. But anyone who's really bad, tighter keeps him close, he actually gets a good jump on them. So you'll see in club space, he'll get a good jump.
Right, this one is...
This is before me, so I can't comment.
Tell me what this one is.
They do go linked again. Canterbury. The scrum has been all power. And they get a free kick here. I've asked for stability.
So he said early push, and then he said I've asked for stability. So it was a no stability. I don't think he probably should have called set. If you watch the players, they're all still moving. You can tell when he calls set because they come in, but when he says set, it's not when it actually comes on the clip. So just watch when the players actually come together, they're all still moving.
Try and come across and support Eaton if they do go linked again. Canterbury.
Still moving, still moving.
Has been all power.
Stuff all looking
They get
engaged.
a free kick here.
They're all in there.
That scrum is never going to be successful.
They're moving.
Right, we're watching the loose head on this one.
It is an 8 handling there as well. Which talks to their stop-start nature.
Anyone got any issues with that penalty?
I've
I've got a slight issue with it.
Nice bind here.
His bind was on his arm a little bit, I thought too.
That's what I didn't like. He could have gone way longer.
Let's just have another.
There's an 8 handling there as well, which talks to their stop-start.
Initial bind's good.
Yeah, he pulls it back. Yeah.
Now, look, now,
And then re-grips on his arm.
There you are.
He re-grips basically. But if you listen to what he said, he goes over and stands in.
In the start,
Hey?
is it the Chiefs? Was he not pushing straight anyway and started it
There's an 8
before?
handling there in the game as well.
Dominant.
Talks to their stop-start.
Ah, I reckon. So I don't know whether he's actually got a penalty for this side of the scrum. It might have been on that side where he's standing anyway, to be honest.
Great options here for Northampton. Minus red, Paul. So this is a situation. Against it all.
What was that for?
Overextending. His practice has gone straight down.
I think his elbow was on the ground, pretty much. Pretty clear that one, I think. He had advantage before it even went down. Tight head binding. You'd like to think you had an AR that would call that. You can see he's spewing. Again, this is tight head, I think. Binding.
Scrum from
Easiest one to do too because they were dominant. It was good.
Hawks back. Paul Matthews to station himself directly behind the pack.
Exactly what Josh was talking about, isn't it? You see it.
And they've got the penalty.
Well, you kind of got the feeling that was coming, wasn't it?
What was that signal? I think wheeling. I think.
Yeah, well, that's what he
It's
said,
kind of like what? It says dominance there, but you can't actually penalise a team just for being dominant. If they stay square and they just go backwards, they can go back as far in this they can.
Well, he gave the signal for wheeling, though, didn't
Hey?
he? He gave the signal for wheeling.
I think so, yeah.
He's had a good apprenticeship with the club as well. Develops. He starts to move, but so does the scrum. Advantage now. Solakula again can't get that pass away. Instead, they get the penalty.
So that's a key one, like I was saying. Look at where the scrum is on the field.
He's had a good apprenticeship with the club as well.
Oh, damn, can't pause it. Okay. Look where the scrum is, 22-15. They're going to try and push them to the sideline. Opens up their sevens for defence.
So does the scrum. Advantage now. Solakula again can't get that pass away. Instead, they get the penalty.
HDMI? Sorry. Hijacked this because I watched this the other day.
That is literally the end of our thing anyway. So that's cool.
But just for illegal wheeling, that Hagawawa's one, you see where their locks ended up. They ended up facing their own goal line.
Yeah.
So they were the ones causing the wheel.
Good, because these are Argies. This is Argentina, Ireland. The wonderful thing about Six Nations is that you get these fantastic views from the stadium. So, where's the one I want? Just tell me what you think of this. I'm be interested in the referee's point of view.
Didn't look like there was a gap to start there.
Who's the dominant scrum here?
Ireland.
Cool.
again, a really good score by
But just, can you tell me what you're seeing in the second row? Who's the dominant scrum in the back five of these two scrums?
They've got way better body position.
Okay.
No, but
The height.
looking for the penalty to try.
Yeah. But Kisu penalises. Penalises the Algies.
What for? What was it for, do you know?
Well, I'll go wide angle for you.
Really, I think.
There we go.
Nah, that was great from RG then.
I've gone to the scrums back, haven't
Takes advantage of the referees.
I? 10.
Those team out references now, we hear the referees are going to punish Lucas. Feeds up the scrum. So that seems to have slipped back a little bit in the last few months or so after.
So, that's the scrum before it?
You got him first.
So, that's the scrum before it, right?
Okay.
So, what do you think? Because that's when I watched that and thought, right, I reckon he's got a preconceived idea what's happening.
Wheeling.
Right, he's saying, maybe I should have penalised there, right?
Yeah, over here.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, you reckon he detached early, Hugh?
I reckon he could have penalised the previous one.
Oh, it looks like he's on that last scrum. He was out and he popped his head up as well,
So now he comes onto that side for this scrum, right?
Yeah, he's offside.
which is good.
And as our scrummaging process, I'm looking at that back row. I'm thinking, because they've got some serious powerhouses in their back row, that Argentinian scrum, right?
Initially, Ireland looked dominant.
They do, yeah, the front row's dominant. Does the back come round?
It sort of does.
But that's pushing straight, aren't they?
That is a tough
It
one.
is, hey? Good scrum though, eh?
It is.
Cut down the offside platoon.
Does it go forward before it turns?
And I look at those two guys there and think, shit,
Yeah.
how they're standing there. Well, that's what you want to see. Even though the scrum's going backwards, they haven't moved. And now they're loading, and they're loading up.
Second shove.
See, that's
Hey, how good is it that you can come to a room of referees, you've got some of the best on both in the world on both sides, and they might be disagreeing with each other still. I bet both packs are disagreeing, and we're now disagreeing with the referee's decision, and some of us are agreeing with the referee's decision?
No.
I think that's where we need to have our really clear 3 or 4 things that are negotiables. What do we need to see? If it's going to be, I need to see you go forward before it turns, then it's easy. Did it go forward before it turned?
It was Irish ball, wasn't it?
No. Oh, yes, it was. Yes.
Irish people had changed sides to watch
Yeah,
because
but
of
that's probably why he's gone that way and gone with penalising Argentina.
The safer call to make, you mean?
Yeah.
Safest call might have been a reset, but he might get in shit for doing too many resets.
Almost certain, because he
So is he
reset
going to
the
get a more
previous
shit for making the wrong penalty call?
one. They're wonderful. They're in these spy cameras they have.
Yep.
The view's outstanding. You get a significantly different appreciation. You can see 1 and 3 doing this, and 4 and 5 doing this, because you can get that. You can't see that from sideline. But I would urge you when Peter Osh, it's funny, isn't it? Craig Philpott. Peter Osh has got a drone going, and we're going to start filming a few of ours, our live scrummaging sessions. So that'd be really great. You have a look at some of those. You start to appreciate when things do that. 1s and 3s go there, and 4s and 5s. Hey, there's one more for you before you leave. What about 6 and 7? Where do they have to scrum? When a scrum starts to go around? Because we're telling.
They have to stay attached. Is that what you asked?
yeah, but where are they allowed to ride to? Are they allowed to ride up the scrum?
No.
Is it like bind up on the prop and
So they bind in behind the prop shoulder and the prop's bum, arm across the lock, correct?
Yeah. Sorry.
They can't slip.
When my 3's getting pumped into here, how many times I have a watch at Super Rugby, you'll see 7 and 6 slide straight up and bang into loose head right into here somewhere.
We used to get coached to do that.
Yep.
Help them out. No, seriously.
Yeah, turn them round.
That happened when, that's what the Crusader guy did when Auckland conceded a penalty try in the.
So yeah, I'll tell you, if 3.
What are you saying?
If I'm, it's illegal, correct?
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, it is, yes.
Because they must be bound, must only have a front row of 3.
Correct.
So that makes a front row of 4.
Correct.
Would that be the penalty?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it'll be a legal binding, I guess, would be the technical.
Well, slippery's blinding, so you can't do
So if my three's getting pumped, I'm going to slide up over the top here and I'm going to bang straight into the one to try and straighten him up a bit. And buy myself a bit of time. Give our three a bit of a hand. And many times you'll see that from very early sports. If you watch really carefully, you'll see it.
Yeah.
Especially if you hit him right in there. You'll tend to straighten him up pretty quickly. Scrums are great, eh? You don't know how wonderful they work.
I remember doing that at a Hawke's Bay training. Sona Tamalolo was
Hey, I'll smack you.
pumping. Who was he pumping? Someone. Commentary pulled me over and he goes,
Slip up.
next scrum, I want you to come up, I want you to put your head right there. And so I did it, and it worked. And he got real angry and he goes, do it again, do it again.
What did you do it again?
I did, and he
Oh, very good. Well, good luck on the weekend, those refereeing and ARing. All the best. Good luck. It's going to be a shambles. I'm sure you'll sort it out.
Thanks, Josh.
Recap. What are the key things that we need to talk about to the front row before the game? One thing. Mark.
Stability, please.
Yes. Karen. Space. Ben.
Pushing straight.
Pushing straight.
Nice. Stu. Seems you gave your one away.
What have we had? Have we got space in terms of blinds on the back?
No, we didn't talk about blinds. Good. Anything else?
Just remember, they're not actually listening to you. They're just waiting for you to go away.
The thing to do is actually on that, because they do. They hear this week in, week out. Put it on them. What do you want, or what do you need for a good scrum? Get them to see if they can tell you what they want. Or go, okay, I need 4 things. What do you think they are? Get them to actually think about it. Because I know exactly what you mean. You come up, all right, boys. One of them's looking over there.
The arms glazed over.
You think, what the fuck am I doing this for? Try and change it up a bit. Put it on them. Ask them a question. That's it. Any questions? Anyone want to clarify anything?
I would say one thing, like in that scrum that Josh showed about the ref on the other side, always have a good reason to go on the side the ball's not being fed on. I see lots of refs sort of do it like 50-50. If I will stay on the side the ball's being fed unless there's something specific I need to go over the other side for.
Correct.
If you've got a doubt.
Because there's so much shit can happen if you're not there.
Yes.
Half back on the scrum through though.
What about
the pressures on that? So he's got to stay within the metre of the scrum, or then he can go 2, or he can go
back to his number 8's feet and go anywhere he wants.
I think a lot depends on whether you've got ARs as well.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
Oh,
If you haven't got ARs,
Yeah, then you absolutely agree
oh,
with that.
yeah.
Because you don't want to get caught in the trend lines otherwise. So you're between the 5 and the touch.
So 9, how far round can you go?
Between 7 and 8.
You can go between 7 and 8 or can't go?
Can't go between 7 and 8.
Okay. We're meeting at 6 to do some fitness. I think it's sort of 6:30 maybe for scrums.
Can we flip that over? If I start at 6?
It should be fine. Yeah.
Is that all right? I'll Old Boys Marriage to be there a bit earlier.
Sweet.
In the front row, and we'll just go banging at 6, and then I'll just be, because MAC's got fitness for the first 45 minutes. So.
Jaden and Groovy might need to be told because Jaden was going to run a fitness session with us at 6, I think.
I'll see Pinners in the gym.
Sweet.
So he can go half an hour later anyway. He's priority. It's called high ranking.
Slightly down the ranking.
Or what about half an hour?
Ruby's noticing you.
Oh, start at 5:30. Yeah, or we can do the
that's
fitness at
what we're
5:30
doing,
maybe,
so.
and then scrums at 6.
If you can,
Yeah.
I could do scrums quicker than I can at 6. We'll put some up and we'll take some down and do a few angles, and
Yep.
I can get on the road, and the MAC won't come to my house.
I know where you live.
Yeah. Yes, so halfback can come follow the ball, but he cannot go in that 7-8 or 6-8 channel. 2 metres from the scrum, unless he goes back to number 8's feet, he can go anywhere he likes.
But he must start at the tunnel.
Yep. Start at the tunnel or on the back line.
Yeah.
Or on the back line. Nice.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well done, Hugh.